Hi everybody, welcome back to ogresspeedshop. So we're going to be back on the 1970 GMC, and we're going to try to get the heart of the beast back together. So let's get into it. So what motor are we going to be working on today? If you've been watching my previous videos, this is a 1982 Chevy block, and the way I figured that out is I ran the numbers, because there's a part number on the block right there. Kind of hard to see, it's kind of dark, but let me get a light so you can see that a little bit better. See, there's how you track your numbers. But the reason I figured out, I decided to look at that is when I bought the balancer for it, didn't seem to match, and that was before we discovered the cam was bad. So yeah, let's get into this, get everything off here so we can take a look at the cylinders, see what we need to do, if we need to clean them up and whatnot. So let's get these heads off of here. So the cool thing is, this will be really easy to take apart because it's already been apart. There's nothing holding the intake on, I just have it sitting on there. And the heads, I think I have one bolt sitting in there just to hold them in place. So get that one bolt out of there. All right, so now we got that all taken back apart. You can look at these cylinder walls and make sure that they're looking all right. I don't remember what they look like. Well, they still got cross hatching in them. A couple little rust spots. Maybe we'll do a little dingle ball hone on them just to see if we can clean it up a little bit more. But overall, they don't look too bad to me. Until it sat for a little bit with a little bit of liquid in them. But overall, they look pretty smooth. No real ring ridge, a little bit of ring ridge there. So we might do a dingle ball hone on it. But that's where we're at right now. And the main thing we got to do, it's the most concerning, is we got to clean out all the oil ports. So got to remove the plugs and everything and get this thing cleaned out so we can rinse out all the oil ports, because with the bad cam, with it losing 2 lobes and 2 lifters, it probably sent some metal through the engine. So I already checked the pistons and rods, and so far they're smooth and feeling good. I got new bearings, and I'm going to Summit this week to pick up a new crank. So then all we'll need is a cam, and we should be able to get this thing back together. So first things first, we gotta make sure everything's clean. What I'm doing right now is I'm just removing all the oil galley plugs. So there's a plug right here that goes down into the chamber. There's the plug right there for your oil pressure. I'll be removing these ones back here so I have a straight shot through. Though, yeah, I want to clean everything out, so those will come to 2. And then you got these 3 up here, which are actually, what do they call it, like freeze plug style. They don't screw in, so we have to pop those out. Ain't a big deal. I think we could do it from, we can go this way with a rod to pop them out that way. But we'll figure it all out as we go. But we gotta get all these ports and channelways and passageways clean. So whatever metal dust went through that needs to be cleaned out, so we have a nice clean engine block. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is take these caps off so they're out of the way. They have arrows on them so you know which way the direction they go. They're not numbered, so we go ahead and just stamp a little number into them. I'm just going to do dots. I'll show you the arrows close up here in a second. So. This one's pretty obvious. So you look right there, there's an arrow pointing forward on each one of them. All right, so let's go ahead and pull the caps off, set them aside. So I'm just going to recap a little bit why we're replacing the crankshaft. When I pulled it out, I took it in to a machine shop, local machine shop here, and have them check it. And it's already been ground under. 20 thousandths on the rods and 15 on the crank journals. So he suggests it's better just to get a new crank rather than having that one welded up or repaired. So that's what I'm gonna do. You can get them from Summit for less than 300 bucks, like 230 bucks or something like that, 231. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go down to Summit, pick one up. Now they're refurbished ones, but they are supposed to be stock size, and you can actually go in there and take a look at them and you know, look at them, make sure there's no pitting or anything where if they've welded the journals up and reground them that way or not. So he suggests them because he says that's actually one of the best ones from 15 years ago was the place to get them. So whether or not this still holds true, we'll find out when I go down there this week. But you know, it's not bad price for just a standard crank. And if y'all remember from the other one, from the last video, these are actually 30 over already, the bores. So I got 30 over pistons in them. I'll show you those eventually when we go get those put in. But other than that, yeah, we just want to get everything torn down so everything's off of it. And so we can start cleaning up all the galleys and everything. Let's get these bearings out of here. Most of these crank bearings don't look too bad. You can see this one's down to the copper. So it definitely needs replaced. What I've noticed on the crank is there's grooves in it. You can feel in the bearings as well. So it's better just to replace everything. I've already got the bearings, and I just need to get the rear main seal, get the crank, and we can start checking everything. We're gonna check through, make sure everything, the sizes and everything match and fit, and get these all on. So we're not gonna just throw it together without checking everything. And as we get to that, I'll show you how that works. There's half of the rear main seal. We'll obviously replace that as well. Next we're going to do take the oil filter adapter off. Those are two probably 5/16 bolts, but 7/16 headed bolts. So 7/16 socket takes that off. It gets that section off. Pretty much does it for the bottom end. I'm going to go ahead and take the plugs out of the water galleys too, just because. All right, let's go ahead and flip her back around. When I mentioned these ports here, so there's an actual extra port right there for another oil pressure gauge if you want. And the original one back here, and then there's a plug. This was the plug in the back. And this was the plug that was up here on that one. GM went away from having the front one, I'm not sure what year, probably late 80s, probably 87-ish. I don't know for sure, don't quote me on that, but. So now we gotta there's these three back here that we gotta get out, these three plugs, which is the same thing as that other one, it's just a 1/4 inch headed, or 1/4 inch socket basically. And then we can start cleaning out the oil valleys. Just want to show you real quick how I'm getting these oil galley plugs out. So this one here runs through all the lifter ports to lubricate the lifters. This one does the driver's side, this one's the passenger side. This middle one's your cam bearings. I already knocked the cam bearing ones out. But what I'm using, you can see the slime on that, so this definitely needs to be clean. Just using a piece of 3/8 inch brake line and shoving it through there. So it hits bottom and then start tapping. And you can see this start to come out. Just like that. There's your oil galley plug. Do the same thing for the last one, and then everything's going to be out of there. We can start cleaning. All right, so with that, we got all those passages cleared out. And if you look down inside there, you can actually see light all the way down there on all three of them. So that definitely needs to be cleaned out. Probably run like a pipe cleaner through there. I'm going to replace the cam bearings as well. So definitely want to do that before we put the crankshaft in, because it's a lot easier to do it without the crankshaft in there. And so yeah, so now I just got this battery basically down to just cleaning the block up now. So that's what we're gonna do next. Let's get the pressure washer out, and Hopefully it still works after the winter time. And start getting this thing cleaned out. And we're gonna use just like some dish soap, to clean out the ports, and just light duty soap to get everything clean on the inside and get all the what could have been metal shavings and grindings out of there. So when we fire it up for the first time with all the new stuff, it won't screw it up right away. Okay, so one of the things I want to do is I want to get a decent measurement of what each bore is and which each cylinder is. So we use what's called a telescoping bore gauge. Basically what it is, it's a spring-loaded little contraption here that as you stick it in the cylinder here, you center it up and you can tighten it down to get an idea what the measurement's going to be for that cylinder. Takes a little finesse and a little playing around with it just to get it, just want to get a base number here to make sure they're 4-inch 30 thousandths. So once we know it's actually 4 inches 30 thousandths, we can set our actual bore gauge that I have to that and get a better measurement that way. I'm just using a set of dial calipers or digital calipers for this to measure it, just to see if we're somewhere around 4-inch 30 thousandths. Because a small block Chevy is a 4-inch bore. It's showing 4-inch, about 34 thousandths. So yeah, we're close. So it's definitely 30 over. So what I'll do now is I'm not going to use this anymore because it's not an accurate enough measurement. We'll get my bore gauge out and I'll show you that. This here is a bore gauge I picked up on Amazon. It was really the cheapest one there. And I've already found numerous issues with it, but the biggest issue had this plastic carrot cover over it, and it wouldn't allow it to go onto the shaft here. So I just changed that out, and so what I need to do is make this so it's 4 inches. I think it goes up to 4 inches. I hope it goes up to 4 inches. Yeah, it goes up to 6 inches. So we got to figure out which one of these rods here actually gives us that distance. There's an extension here too, so we can screw that on there. But I think that'll be too much. So I got a feeling it's probably going to be this one right here. But I'm going to play around with that for a little bit and I'll come back. All right, so I got my bore gauge here set to 4-inch 30 thousandths. So I'm going to take measurements going vertically, horizontally, in 3 different depths just to see how bad the cylinder is off. So looking at, so we're 5 thousandths over on that one. So from here to here, so number 1, it's actually number 2, but you know what I'm saying. So we got 4-inch 0.35 from here to here. 90 degrees off from that. Same thing, so we're 5 thousandths. I don't know, I really don't know how accurate this is. It was the cheapest one. I'm going to go through and measure all these so we can get an idea of what we're looking at, make sure everything is going to be within tolerance. And hopefully this is accurate enough. Like I said, I think we were reading about 4 thousandths over on the telescoping gauge too. So it's pretty accurate so far. All right, so I got finished measuring all the cylinders. And with the measure that I actually couldn't get it quite 4.300, so I got 3.295. So it's about 5/10 thousandths of an inch off, so half a thou off. But tolerances you want for a small block Chevy are typically between 3 to 5 thousandths, and these all fall within that realm. This last one right there had a 6 thousandths. I think 6 thousandths, you know, considering the tools I'm using, is good enough for what we're doing here, because it's not going to be a full build race motor or anything. I'm just making it run and drive, and it should be fine. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but most of them are within that 3 to 5 thousandths anyways. So it's only number 5 that was a little over on the top measurement. So up here, the cylinders should be good. I still might do a little tiny hone on it just to give it a little crosshatch. So I might just go in here to clean up the ring ridge a little bit, just to get rid of that. And other than that, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think we can run it the way it is. Worst case scenario, it smokes a little bit, I think, but I think we'll be all right. So next thing we got to do is get it cleaned up. Cam bearings out. It's got a nick in the cam bearing there. But anyways, I'm squirreling. here. So we got to clean up the block. I got to get the crankshaft so we can start doing those measurements, and definitely do cam bearings as well, just because why not? All right, so it's time to clean this block up. So I'm just gonna take a wire wheel to it because the paint's peeling off and there's dirt and grime everywhere. So I'm gonna clean up everything and get it prepped for paint. And then when I get the crank on Thursday, hopefully, we will start looking at assembling everything. And I did buy a couple tools today. Hopefully the hone that I got will work to clean up these areas a little bit. But the rest of it needs to be cleaned as well. So I'm gonna wire wheel it, get everything cleaned up and ready for paint. You know, minor attempt to keep myself clean while I'm doing this. I'm wearing my son's old McDonald's uniform. All right, we got about halfway done. I don't know if you saw the sparks flying, but what I was doing is, if you look, see how smooth that is right there? That used to look a lot more like that. See all that casting flash on there? So what I did is I just smoothed it out. You see this right here? That's all casting flash, and it isn't necessary to be there. It's just what's the sand mold left over and seeped out a little bit where it was molded at. So you can see a little bit more back here, and I cleaned up this area here too. So that's nice and smooth now. I got rid of the big flashes back here. There's a huge one right here, so I got rid of that one. So nice rounded edge now, so you won't cut your hands on it. So, and also, I noticed there's a little bit of the original color paint. This is a blue color. So this was a 1982 block, or is a 1982 block, not 1970, the year the truck is. So it has been replaced at some point in its life. So what's left is this side here. I'm gonna smoothen everything out over here just like I did on that side. And I just wanted to share that little tidbit. You can grind off all the molding flash, like all these rough areas like that, and make them smooth. Just wanted to show you that a little bit, show you the original blue paint. And yeah, so I'm not sure what color I'm painting it yet. I don't know if we're gonna just go black or I'm gonna go Hugger orange. I don't really know. I'm not big on Hugger orange, but you know, black looks good too. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll paint it Pontiac blue. I don't know. The other things I want to emphasize a little bit. We'll flip it over real quick. Sure, everybody saw me doing a wire wheel on the deck surface. Well, did you see any sparks? No, because I wasn't taking any material off. All I did was cleaning up the surface from the gasket. And you see any scratches or nicks or anything in it? So, turned out good. It did slip when I was grinding this down a little bit, a couple of times, but I only hit the pins, so didn't hit the deck surface. But you can do it with a wire wheel if you're just careful with it. All right, so we got the outside pretty much cleaned up, most of the paint off of it. The rest of it I'll just prime over and get ready for paint. I'm undecided what color I'm gonna go with yet, either black, Hugger orange, or I'm considering painting it Pontiac blue, like my Firebird, so it matches it. So, I'm not sure yet. I think that'll look pretty cool being in the GMC, because then we'll have matching engines and matching headlights, because the GMC's got the 4 headlights. But, so the next thing we're gonna do is I bought, of all things, I bought a gun cleaning kit. I have one, but it's a nicer one than this. This is the cheapest one they had at Atwood's. This will allow me to get inside all of these oil chambers, oil passages, and get those cleaned out real nice. I bought some of the cotton pads, or whatever they're called. The cotton flannel pads to really clean it up. Even though this kit came with some, I just got some extras. But this will do pretty nicely to get all that grime out of there. And I also have, let's see what else did I get. And I got some of these too, just in case. These are actual. So they have an engine cleaning kit at Harbor Freight, but they don't go long enough to go down inside there. With these, I can at least go in, you know, halfway on each side to get it clean if I need to go this route. So got those as well. And some WD-40, I got a hone a 4-inch hone. I might pick up one of the dingle ball hones when I go to Summit on Thursday, and pick up the crank and bearings, cam bearings, some assembly lube, stuff like that, just little stuff. But yeah, so we should be able to clean up the cylinders on these two. I started doing one, it's turning out all right. Got rid of the ring ridge mostly, so that's good there, but I don't want to take too much material off because they're already about 5 thousandths over the 30 thousandths over, so I'll probably measure them again because I don't know how accurate. I'm also buying a 4-inch 3 to 4 micrometer so I can set the dial bore gauge better. So we'll do that after Thursday as well. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So just basically still cleaning. I'm going to pressure wash it, clean it real good, soap and water through all the passages, try to get all the metal grindings out of it from the cam and the lifters that took a crap. All right, so I'm just going to start by running this first brush through the oil galleries. And the only bad thing I don't like about the gun cleaning kits is the handle spins. Yeah, so the handle spins, but that's because most rifles have spiral cut in them, or what's that called? I can't think what it's called right now, but you know what I mean. They're rifled. So they spin through the rifling, but I just want it to shove straight through just to clean. So just on that one pass, you can see the dirt and grime on there. I'll go ahead and go through the rest of the oil galleys here too. Do the smaller one. I'm gonna use some brake clean down the side here too to help with the cleaning. Oh, great. There we go. I'm going to go through and do this with all of them until I can run one of the pads through there, or the cotton pads, and it come out clean. And you can use brake clean, you can use detergent to do this. Right now I just happen to have the brake clean out, so that's what I'm using. I'm planning on picking up a cam removal or cam bearing tool on Thursday when I go down there too, so I'll remove those so we can actually get the ports and everything cleaned on that as well. For the cam bearings. Just going to clean this out, clean these out as best we can here. And I'll be back when I'm done. Or when it's time for the cotton pads. All right, so next thing I'm going to run through is this like cotton tube brush thingy. So see what that does. Yeah, it's still pretty nasty. The next thing we're going to do is put this attachment on right here. Now you can put cloth through that. Definitely should have gone some bigger pads, I think. Let's soak that down with brake clean. Yep, still pretty dirty in there. But I'll be back when we get some clean. I'll show you the clean ones come out. All right, so I've been working at this for a little bit. And just want to see how much dirt comes out again. Double up the rags this time with the pads. So there's still some dirt, but for the most part, it's a lot cleaner than it was. So the only bad thing about using these cotton pieces is they tear. So little burrs on the inside of these holes are catching it, but if you just blow it out with an air hose and make sure it's clear, it'll still be okay. So I'm happy with those passages being clean now. And I should have done those afterwards, but I need to go back in and do clean out through this hole for the oil pressure sensor, this oil pressure sensor, and then the plug back here. So those are the last 3 that need to be cleaned out that go into those tubes. And then underside we'll go through and clean out those the bearing feeds. All right, I'm pretty sure I got all the passages cleaned out. The only one I'm not gonna, there's a plug down the side here that goes up to the oil filter, or I'm sorry, the oil, well, it goes to the oil filter too. But that that passage right there, it goes up to where you have your oil pressure sensor. And the passage also goes over to the bottom or the outlet of the oil filter. So what happens is you have your oil pump here with a pickup going into this, to your rear cap. And so the oil comes up through that, into the side here. And then, so it comes out the sides of the, or it goes into the sides of the oil filter, then out through the top or the middle of the oil filter, and then it goes out throughout the rest of the engine. So this little hole right here that goes through that port as well as that one right there. So this hole connects to that bearing hole and also to your oil pressure line at the top. So you pretty much got all the passageways clean, but then I noticed something. Look down inside that cylinder, see that mark right there? And they all have little areas kind of like that. This block's already 30 over. And problem is, especially on this cylinder right here, that spot, that dark spot, that's about 37 thousandths. So that means the 35 thousandths pistons we have aren't gonna work. Which means this either needs to be bored over to 40, if it's enough, or even go as far as 60. So I postponed my trip to Summit because now I'm not sure what all I'm gonna need. I'm probably gonna need pistons too now. But until then, I think we're gonna end it here because we got her cleaned up. I'm gonna talk to the machine shop, have them check it out, see what needs to be done or what can be done. If we go 40, that'll be good. But if we have to go 60, then we have to go 60. That's the way it is. And the reason why I want to keep this block is because it's a 4-bolt main. It's an original 4-bolt main, so I want to keep that. It's a good block, as long as everything checks out. So I'll probably have it magnafluxed and everything just to make sure everything's good on it, and go from there. So, yeah. On that note, yeah, we're going to go ahead and end this video here because I don't want to go any further. I don't want to buy any parts for it yet until I know it's worth building and what all I got to buy, because definitely going to have to do pistons now, the crank for sure. Do I want to go stroker? I don't know. You know, it's going to be for a truck, so I don't really know if I need a stroker or not. Or do I look for a completely different drivetrain for it and do 6-liter and 4L80 for a good, you know, tow option? And the other thing I've been thinking about doing and looking for is a complete chassis, you know, to get a, like a, you know, a newer 2500 with a 6-liter and 4L80 and drop the cab and the bed and everything from this truck onto that chassis just to make it a nice, simple, easy swap, and my ultimate tow vehicle would be good to go right at that point. You know, I get to keep my cool truck because it's a 1970 that I love, and then, you know, have the towing capacity of a newer, more stout vehicle. So those are my options. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I am gonna build this motor for something. Just don't know what, as long as it's good. So once it checks out, then we will build it for something. But it still might be that one. I don't know yet, but it all depends on what we find out from the machine. So on that, if you like this video, leave a like down there, leave me a comment, let me know what I can do, what I can do better, and subscribe while you're at it. You know what the heck, it's free. And I just want to take this time to say I appreciate y'all for being here, watching me, you know, tool around in my shop, just playing around basically. And I really do appreciate y'all watching. So again, thank you. And until next time, I will see y'all later.